Former Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson joins us now for a very important reason. Good morning to you, and nice to hear your voice again.
Good morning, Steve and Andrea. Glad to be here.
Thanks, Superintendent. Nice to talk to you.
You know better than, it's a small party, a small group of people that understands what the CPD really needs, really uses. And you guys aren't in the business of wasting taxpayers' money. Talk to me about ShotSpotter and why it matters.
Because ShotSpotter it's not the silver lining to decreasing gun violence, but it's a huge piece of it. So I have gotten involved in a grassroots campaign, SaveShotSpotter.com. So I encourage all your listeners to go to that website. The traffic that's been generated in the last couple of days has been phenomenal. But ShotSpotter, SaveShotSpotter.com is a website so we can send letters to our aldermen, letting them know that we support ShotSpotter. And here's the thing. I run into people every day, and I think we have to better educate people on what ShotSpotter actually is. It's not a video surveillance system. It's a sound detection system that alerts the police officers to where shots are being fired. It's as simple as that. And it cuts down the response time that it takes for CPD to get to a shots fired call. And that helps immensely with evidence recovery or possibly even saving lives. And, the last two police officers that were tragically murdered, that's how CPD actually found them with ShotSpotter alerts, because we just have to realize in a city like Chicago, we got 2.7 million people, right? Roughly 160 square miles of geography to cover. And in some of these challenged areas where they suffer gun violence every day on a daily basis, people get desensitized, unfortunately, and they stop calling 911. So ShotSpotter takes the place of the people that used to dial 911 and don't do it anymore. So we definitely need it. It never occurred to me while I was superintendent that we would fall into a place where we would get rid of it, because I've seen it work from the ground up, and it bothers me that, being played with the gun violence in this city that we're going to take away a tool that not only helps the police officers find this stuff, but it helps the citizens be safer.
I completely agree with this. Completely agree. I'm so glad that you are involved with this grassroots effort, and this site, as you said, just went live this week, SaveShotSpotter.com, and the stats, Superintendent, on here are incredible. It takes less than a minute for Spot Shutter to alert authorities. I know it's such a habit when I say that. ShotSpotter.
I got your back.
And almost 500 victims have been saved, if you will, by this so far, and these numbers just continue to increase. I can't see a downside to having it.
No, and there's a testimonial right on the website homepage. ShotSpotter saved my grandson's life. He picked up the shots when they found him within minutes. He had been shot 27 times, and he's alive today because of ShotSpotter.
Right.
Yeah, and that's real information, and I did a segment on WTTW a few months ago, and here's my thing. Whatever it takes in this city to make the people on the west side and south side feel safe like they do on the north side, then we should be willing to do. And to me, there's just absolutely no price that we should put on public safety, because everyone in this city deserves to feel safe. They really do. Yep, they do. And we should do whatever we can to make them feel safer. And ShotSpotter is a tool that gets us there. When we launched ShotSpotter back in, I think it was 2018, I was stunned because initially folks wanted to use it in, some of the milder districts. And I wanted to go to the toughest districts in the city because I knew if it worked there, then it would be good all over the city. So we went to the 7th district, Inglewood, and then the 11th district on the west side. And, within 2 months, the numbers were stunning in terms of how it decreased gun violence in those two areas. So whatever it takes, and look, Steve and Andrea, I would love to live in a city where we didn't really need police. I would love that. But the reality is we're not there yet.
No,
we're not there.
No, and this is not about black folks and brown folks and white folks and any other color you choose. This is about good guys and bad guys.
Right.
And
exactly right.
And I don't care what color you are. You carry a gun. You commit a crime with a gun. I want every piece of technology available to save that person who's either been shot or shot at.
You know, and that is funny you say that. I was talking to a group of folks last week, and I told them, you know, if we have the technology, why not use it?
Right.
Absolutely.
Because it's just insane to me to have this type of technology and then turn our backs on it. And you know, I want to see the mayor succeed. I do, because if he succeeds, then we succeed. I just think that there are just people out there that just think, and I can, you know, with pretty much 100% confidence tell you that the people that want to get rid of it like that probably don't live in those challenged areas.
Of course not.
Right. And Superintendent, even in the rare cases where ShotSpotter picks up extraneous noise, if I'm living, no matter where, I mean, I've lived all over the city, south side, west side, now north side. Even if there's a mistake and the police respond to, say, garbage cans clinking, which I know that's the case less than 1% of the time, I'm okay with that. I want to see the patrols in my neighborhood just in case there is something that goes wrong. So I'm okay with, even in the rare cases where it doesn't pick up the gunshots, that the patrols come out there.
That's absolutely right, because just think about it, Andrea, if it is a false alert and the police come, who knows? They might pick up on another crime that's occurring at that particular time. We don't know. You know, we can't quantify that kind of stuff because we don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is, it does help save lives and it does decrease gun violence, you know, and we have to use everything at our disposal in this city to decrease gun violence. You know, we already get a bad rap nationally, you know, and it's horrible that we have that reputation, but Chicago isn't even like in the top 15, maybe not even in the top 20 in terms of murders in the country.
Last time I looked, it was 23.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, somewhere around there. But if you ask anybody that's not from Chicago, they're going to say we're number one, and that's just not true. We just get so much attention because we're so big.
Right.
You know, but when you look at it per capita, we're not even close to number one, and we can do better than that. And I'll tell you this. So when I came aboard in 2016 as superintendent, we had 770 murders at the end of that year, I believe, in 2016, because, of course, that was right after Laquan McDonald. By the time I left, we had gotten it under 500. And I'm convinced to this day, if my administration had stayed and we had the same tools that we had, we would have got it down to about 400, despite the fact that George Floyd occurred and COVID. I am convinced of that because we just had the momentum and the tools at our disposal. And that's the other thing with these tools. You have to be dedicated to this stuff in order for it to be effective.
Right. And you got to stick with it. You got to stick with it. You can't be politically pulling the plug on any of this stuff. So
that's exactly right.
So if you go to ShotSpotter.com,
save ShotSpotter.com.
That's important. Include the save. SaveShotSpotter.com. There's a red button there that says what?
It says, you click on it and it says support.
And then in the support, you just fill out some very easy information about who you are.
Right.
And throw your email address in. And it gives you a chance to send a direct note to an alderman based on your, where you live. And you're good to go. And by the way, if you don't live in the city, but you work in the city, put your business address down.
That's right.
Because your alderman's serving your business.
That's right. Because, look, we all have a part to play in this. It's not just about the police. It's about everybody in this city coming together for a common purpose, and that's to make the city safer. And it just floors me still when I think about the fact, and I know I might be all over the place a little bit here, but let me just tell you all this. It never occurred to me, and I kind of blame myself a little bit, but it never occurred to me once we saw the effectiveness of this one particular tool, this one piece of technology, once we saw that, it never occurred to me that we would get rid of it unless
Sure.
we had the gun violence weighed. It just never occurred to me. So I wish back then, had we had the foresight to recognize that, then we would have gathered data in a different way. Yeah. And the data that the opponents of ShotSpotter is throwing out there, I just find some of that stuff just nutty.
No, it's a joke.
It's ridiculous.
It's a bad joke.
Yeah.
By the way, I literally, while we were talking in the last two questions, filled out the form.
Yeah, I did too.
It's that easy.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I encourage everybody in the city, businesses, clergy, let's get your congregations activated, and let's send these letters in, because trust me, if we lose ShotSpotter, we're going to lose a very valuable tool that just doesn't alert the police to gunshots, but it helps to save lives. And if we can decrease the gun violence in this city, just this is a beautiful city with a lot of beautiful people. We just have 1% of the population here that just don't want to act right. And in speaking on that, it's not so much the bad guys think about the length of a sentence they might get. It's the certainty of a consequence.
Yep.
And we've lost that somewhere. So there has to be a certainty of consequence for them to stop doing what they're doing. And ShotSpotter is one tool that helps us get there. So we have to save this program. We absolutely do.
All right. Absolutely.
It's former Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Glad to have you out there spreading the word, and thanks for doing it here for us. SaveShotSpotter.com. Very easy way for you to contribute and make a difference. And thank you. Stay healthy yourself.
I will. Thank you guys for having me on this morning.
Thank you,
You're always
Superintendent.
welcome here.